Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all? This is the start of the week. It's Monday morning here in Australia. I want to take a look at the polls this week in America. Of course, all the polls last week. Of course, polls. I guess you don't want to get too wedded to them. They can be wrong, but they certainly are a good indication of the reality that we already know, and that is that Trump is actually in trouble in the polls. If there was an election held, he wouldn't win. So this gives me. Last week in one of my readings, I felt very strongly that he was actually considering. He's constantly thinking about stepping down. His ego would not allow him to lose an election, be a one-term president. Are we going to see him making some kind of announcement in the months ahead? Okay, so I also get a draw to Trump's health as well. I feel that there are concerns, there are fairly real concerns about his health. So let's have a look at where is he at this weekend? Of course, he's still persisting with that most ridiculous idea of buying Greenland, despite the people of Greenland saying that Greenland's not for sale. I mean, that's just a diversion. What is it a diversion away from? It's a diversion away from the economy. Okay, so as you know, we in Australia have been really bracing for a recession now for about 6 months. I guess we're probably more open about the way that the trade war with China is impacting. You've got Trump now denying that trade war has any impact on the economy at all, despite, economists and researchers and saying that of course that's one of the factors that is driving the economy down and the stock market down. So polls, recessions, not looking like a good week for Donald Trump, and I do feel that there is a point that he's getting to where he really won't be able to keep going. And it will, possibly take one more investigation, one more finding of corruption, one more damning allegation to push him over the edge. But most of all, I don't think his ego would take such a loss in 2020. So let's have a look at where he's at. What's he thinking? What's Trump thinking about this week? What's the week ahead going to be like for Donald Trump? What's the week ahead going to be like for Donald Trump? Let's have a quick look here. So we've got the Wheel of Fortune. So something's going to change this week. This is a 10. Well, this is the signifier card, so I can't say that will change this week. But this is what we're looking at in relation to this question. We're looking at things changing for the better. We're looking at the ending of a cycle. Now, isn't that wonderful? That's what we all hope for with Trump and others around the world. I'm getting very concerned about Boris Johnson's continual threats to leave the EU without a deal. And of course, leaked cabinet papers are basically outlining what a disaster that would be for the UK. So, nevertheless, this signifier card is talking about endings and things taking a turn for the better. Challenged by the Queen of Wands, and this is the strength here. So I don't even feel that this is a challenge card. This is actually what's propelling the ending of a cycle and the moving forward of another. It's coming forward with strength. I mean, it's quite easy to sit back and say, well, this has been going on for too long. I need to take a break for this. Yes, do that if you must. But also while you're doing that, remember why we're at this point in time where the reality, the transparency of someone like Trump is so gallingly obvious. And that is because of the action and the inspiration and the passion that people have put into affecting change. So these are the two signifier cards. This week, what's he thinking about this week? Something's going to get out of his control here. Is this the economy, or is it him? The Chariot is talking about things coming forward very, very, very strongly, and also the need for control. So something's going to occur this week that will demand that Trump take control. Will he be up to it? The Ace of Pentacles in the past. This could even be news from one of the many multitudes of investigations that Trump is currently facing, and it is all around the money. Let's not forget Roger Stone's trial as well. There's so much out there, particularly with the Jeffrey Epstein suicide has actually really, I think, I'm just getting the energy. It's spooked a lot of people. So what's in the sky? We've got the Two of Cups. He will be looking to do deals. Is this trade deal with Boris Johnson? Because Boris Johnson came into my mind as I was doing this reading. Look, whatever, it doesn't really matter whether it's, I do feel this is the economy. There is also the policies, the downturn in the polls for Trump. He's doing a lot of heavy lifting. Look at the tens that we've got in this reading. We've got the 10 in the Wheel of Fortune, and we've got the 10 of Wands here, completion cycles. The Knight of Wands, so he might come forward also with a bold plan about something, but it may not go anywhere. Is this around gun reform? I'm not sure. He'll come out with some kind of announcement, but it really is, it's like he's spinning his wheels. In the environment around the Magician card, the number 1. This is also about actualizing things into reality. So I also feel I'm getting this draw. Why are we in the completion cycle? We're in there because of the strength and the actions we've taken. So look to those many investigations here for information coming out this week. We've got the 5 of Cups, and I do feel now we're getting into Trump's energy here. This is loss, and this is a reaction to loss. This is, what does he fear the most? What does he fear the most? Is it America's economy going, taking a dive? No. It's the polls. This is what's caused Trump to feel defeated. It's also his biggest fear because his ego is the most dominant characteristic here. Now what we've got as the outcome card here is the 6 of Cups, going back to the past in some way. He is reflecting, he is dropping those lines. I could be making more money elsewhere, etc. It's definitely on his mind. Now we've got the 4 of Cups. He is disappointed that things have not worked out better for him. And we've got endings and beginnings with the World card here. What's the base of the reading is the 4 of Wands. This is really my Democrat card. So expect some news regarding these judicial investigations. I'm also going to Don McCann, but I'll do that in a separate reading. Is he likely to appear before the Congress? He's now saying that he was Donald Trump's personal lawyer, which is, What do they do? They're really trying to avoid appearing in Congress. But I'll read separately on him. Note, though, that Don McCann has come up in this reading. Okay, so we've got the 7 of Swords, of course, with Donald Trump. Of course, it is in relation to these investigations. There is some kind of tricky move that he is doing behind the scenes this week in relation to those. But we've got strength and endurance here. Okay, so the energies this week are fairly obvious with Donald Trump. The polls are really weighing on his mind. It's causing him to really, he's taking it hard. It's a very significant reaction to loss. And of course that takes him forward to 2020. So he is thinking, he is considering all of his options. It's always at the base of his, or the back of his mind. money in the past here, this new income sources, I do believe business in the White House was his overriding. I feel intuitively it's uppermost for a businessman like Donald Trump. It's uppermost in his mind, but it just hasn't gone like that for him. Those pesky Democrats. But I do feel there's something around these congressional investigations, or because I've got the Four of Wands, that is my Democrat card. It's though he's trying to, he will make some kind of move to try and avert something, a show of strength here as well. But he's having trouble controlling it with that Chariot. Outcome cards are really interesting. The past, going back to the past all the time, being disappointed in what's transpired, and the World card, endings and beginnings here. Very, very strong pull with these double tens and these two other tens on the ground. Very, very strong pull to the ending of a cycle. So they're the energies of this week for him. You can expect some sort of move from Trump and the White House to try and circumvent, obstruct these congressional investigations. But just a short reading on Trump this morning. I'll come back and I think take another look at Don McGahn, as well as the predicted recession. I'll take a further deeper look at that either later on today or tomorrow morning. So thank you for tuning in for that quick reading on Trump. Thank you.